Aloha guys, I'm your man about town, and I'm here to educate you through entertainment. It's no secret that people are losing their innocence at ever increasingly younger ages, and when you tack on the unexpected and sometimes unwanted bundles that come along 9 months down the line, or the barrage of gifts that just keep on giving, we have a situation that might warrant some attention. In ye old days of yore, and in the ancient world, promiscuity was discouraged for both health and social reasons, and not a whole lot's changed to this day. Abstinence before marriage is required in some societies and is even considered a part of chastity. So, this sort of topic is nothing new, I know. It's been floating around society for as long as satellites have been orbiting the Earth. A female's innocence can be worth more than the lottery, while a man's is something of a liability, and that's just the way it is. Men and women are different. Get over it and move on. But when it comes to getting the wrong kind of reputation, I think the subject of deflowering is definitely more of a girl thing. So before you do the deed, take a moment to think about the consequences. A lot of it has to do with gender. And while I'm certainly no Puritan myself, and I'm not here to preach, I just want to share some of my insight and maybe even add a little fun to the subject. So whether you're a king or a queen, or somewhere in between, I believe in doing whatever makes you happy. So, do you, but just remember.
You're watching World Clique TV, and this is a Clique for Men video. Education through entertainment. World Clique is a lifestyle, and a message, and a movement. And we welcome you to be a part of it.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
There's been a lot of talk about clubs, all kinds of clubs, and it seems like everybody's got an opinion about them. And while I take every content creator at their word, the challenge for me has always been that it's all just talk. Nobody's coming with any receipts. I spent years in the clubs, both as a customer and as a worker, and I also have a lot of stories to tell. But unlike the many fake alpha males and self-proclaimed experts, I have the pictures and the videos to prove it. I've written a book and I'm giving it to you free. It's a fun and easy read and it shows you what the clubs are really like. The parts that you see as the general public, but most of all, the parts that you don't see. I share with you the relationships, the situationships, the hookups, and the personal experiences that went along with being in the clubs from both sides of the velvet ropes. Bartenders, waitresses, models, and dancers, they're all here and they all consented to being on camera. And as an added bonus, I've highlighted for you the most important lessons to take away from each of my experiences so you'll always have a fun guide for research and reference. The contents of this book is completely uncensored and is way too spicy for social media, so I'm giving it to you as a free download. Just go to my Patreon page and start your free trial. The link is in the description box and in the pinned comment. Once you've activated your free trial, you'll get a welcome note from me that looks something like this. Just click the download link and your free ebook is yours to keep forever. It's that easy. There's never been a truly uncensored look at the modern day club scene. Playboy couldn't do it in the 90s, HBO couldn't do it in the 2000s. This is a one-of-a-kind documentary and I'm sharing it with you, so download your free copy right now. What keeps partners coming back? This question, a question posed by researchers in a 2011 study published in the Journal of Social Psychology, forces social scientists and myself, quite honestly, to dive into a phenomenon that persists across the dating spectrum, a phenomenon that is both interesting and frustrating. Interesting because it sheds light on human desire, and frustrating because on-off relationships inhibit those who are sort of with someone from moving on. According to research, common themes of on-off relationships include on-off partners report more uncertainty about their relationship. On-off partners are intentionally vague about their breakup strategy, and on-off partners are less certain they are no longer dating following their first breakup. Almost half the 2011 study's participants admitted to missing their partner, still loving their partner, and feeling that they could not be without their partner. Aside from the lingering feelings, others claim, "I am afraid to be alone." Translation, companionship. It was comfortable. Translation, familiarity. Ooh, that's a hard word to say. Familiarity. And I knew they were the one for me. Translation, partner is the one. Popular culture has satirized the on-off phenomenon. In the 1990s, sitcom Seinfeld, for instance, Jerry Seinfeld, the lead character in the show, had hit the proverbial nail on the head when he admitted, ending a relationship is like knocking over a soda machine. You can't do it in one push. You gotta rock it back and forth and then it falls over. From this angle, relationships are sort of like soda machines, but unlike soda, they are a lot less sweet. Other studies have demonstrated that the majority of breakups are not mutual. 15% of on-again, off-again partners report a mutual breakup compared to 43% of standard couples. In other words, mutual breakups are less likely among on-off couples. Chances are that some poor sap, either the guy or the girl, is going to end up on the breakup receiving end alone. But it's not all bad. Interestingly, positive outcomes related to breakups have not been widely reported, but a 2003 study in the Journal of Personal Relationships did, in fact, point out that some positive things about on-off relationships do exist. For example, some people report gaining wisdom and experience positive emotions after a breakup. Though interesting, more research needs to be done, however, regarding the positive outcomes of breakups. Like the ancient Greek myth of Sisyphus, couples that constantly renew, pushing a relationship rock up a hill only to let it roll down and up again, are doing themselves a disservice, in my personal opinion, and ought to just end it. Finally, as the science suggests, if you're the person to end the relationship the first time, the odds are that you will be the person to end it again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Ad nauseum, ad infinitum. Take that with a grain of salt, or a bottle of Pepto-Bismol, but it is what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
In Katy Perry's 2011 song Last Friday Night, the pop princess sings about waking up with a stranger. She's hungover from the night before, trying to make sense of what happened and how she arrived in her situation. She implies that she and her mystery man had sex and that their interactions are going to end there. Typical. Among millennials, which were born between the 1980s and the early 2000s, hookups are the norm, and Perry, who herself is a millennial, embodies the hookup ethos better than anyone through her song lyrics. That sexual intercourse can take place in an array of contexts, including marriage, committed, relationships, friends with benefit scenarios, and one-night stands is pretty much well known. According to a study that was published in 2012, 20% of sexual intercourse cases involve people who know each other but were not in a relationship, and another 15% involve people having sex who did not know each other previously. So what are hookups, and how do they differ from other forms of intimacy? Defined as brief sexual encounters among individuals who are not romantic partners or dating each other, hookups defining qualities are brevity and non-committed. Others call this form of interaction booty call relationships. In this way, hookups and booty calls are both low investment sexual activities, the ultimate free ride, allowing two people or many, if you're into that sort of thing, to have sex without sticking around. Traditional forms of relationships and courting have been changing for decades, with fewer people courting each other for long-term commitments, like marriage. Widespread and dominant, hookups are a way of testing a potential partner, seeing if they can be indeed relationship material. To the regret of some, the traditional date is in many ways on the path to extinction. To be clear, hookups and booty calls, though increasing in popularity, are still not practiced among the majority. Also, arguably, nothing good or bad can be said about this phenomenon. It's simply a description of what is. It is what it is. An observation of how people behave. I don't necessarily endorse hookups, and I don't necessarily condemn them either. Though in some ways I do like the traditional date. With the right person, of course. Traditional dates can be a lot of fun. They offer people an opportunity to relax and have some fun while getting to know each other in the process. But I do recognize that the emotional and relational winds have been shifting for quite some time, and it's better to get on the wagon than get left behind. Finally, to ask the question, are hookups and booty calls better than the traditional date, is to dive into one of the major dilemmas of modern dating, and a question that does not readily yield an answer. I say, that's up to you. But then again, you might be able to ask Katy Perry. She seems to have all the answers. Getting into a relationship can be a beautiful thing. The act of two becoming one is something musicians, writers, artists, and movie makers have focused their energies on for years. What they don't tell you is how to hold on to your oneness as two become one. Many people I know get into relationships and mold themselves into this whole new person. It seems they become so wrapped up in the we that they forget about the importance of the me. What if it doesn't work out? It is so important to hold on to some of your single guy habits while being in a couple. That's who you are at the core. You can't always depend on that other person being there, but you can always depend on yourself being there. Don't blow off your friends for a girl. Seriously, that's cardinal rule number one. Once the honeymoon phase of your relationship is over, you're going to need to spend time with other people before you start to drive each other nuts. Your boys have been there for you for much of your life and can remind you of who you are as an individual. They'll understand you blowing them off at first, but how many invites will you turn down before they stop calling altogether? Go out, have fun, spend time with the guys. There's never anything wrong with the guys' night out. Mingle, flirt a little bit. You're in a relationship, but you're not dead. There's nothing wrong with some innocent flirting. You're an adult and you should know the difference between being playful and being serious. You should know the limits and how far you can joke without offending your significant other. The attention makes you feel alive and alpha, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you have something that you genuinely enjoy doing, make sure to take time to do it. Life gets so busy with meetings and errands that it's hard to remember that guy who found himself on PlayStation and Xbox. Taking some me time, or should I say you time, when you're in a relationship will help you to prevent you from losing yourself. Always remember, before you can make others happy, you need to be happy with who you are. There is never a guarantee that you will forever be a we, so make sure to focus on the me, or should I say, the you.
Who put this thing together? Me! That's who! Who do I trust? Me! Silence your mouth!
guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, please take this opportunity right now to become a subscriber by hitting the subscribe button, which should be somewhere near the bottom of this video. And if you made it to the end of this video, then you are certified as awesome in my book. And for that, give yourself a 10 out of 10 for excellence. Next, hit the like button if you did like this video, and don't forget to drop me a comment letting me know what your thoughts are. And of course, make sure that you share this video on your social media and with anybody that you think would enjoy a video like this. And I'm sure that you've noticed that pretty lady to the right hand side of your screen. She is your model of the week. And you can see a lot more of her over on my Patreon page, so make sure that you hurry yourself over there and see all that there is to see of her. The link is in the description. If you'd like to support this channel, the best way to do it is through Patreon, which is linked in the description. There's an absolute ton of pics, videos, and features that will blow you away. So make sure that you check me out on patreon.com/themanabouttown. If you'd like to make a one-time contribution to this channel, you can do it through PayPal, which is also linked in the description. You've been hanging out with the Man About Town, and I'd like to thank you for your time and would once again like to invite you to join me over on Patreon for even more fun and excitement, including occasional sexier versions of some of these videos. It's all over on my Patreon page, where you'll always find something interesting to see, and the best of all, a lot of it's free. Aloha!